What's up, everybody? Thanks for checking out this tip from turningpointmusic.net. Today I want to show how you can link plugin settings through groups. I think this is a really dope and a really quick tip, unlike the last one. So I showed you before a way to do EQing on acoustic guitars, and I thought I might show you two different ways that you might think about doing that again, but this is definitely different from the last tip. So here I've got a couple of guitars soloed, one left and one right. Let's take a listen. So there are a couple of ways you could go about EQing this. Three obvious ways that stand out. One is I could EQ this one and EQ that one separately and try and kind of get them to blend together from doing separate EQs. I think that's the worst way to do it, or the hardest way to do it. Another way to do it would be to click on one, shift click down to the next, go shift option for apply to selected, take them out to new track, go stereo aux, that's great. We'll call this Taylor 1, 2. So now these are routed down to this aux, so they're summing through this aux, and we could EQ on this aux. And that's a fine way to do it. I do it often that way. I would then drag down the verb and delay, as you just saw me do, and I control command clicked on these two up here to inactivate so that the verb and delay are only down here coming off the aux. Then I could put an EQ on this aux, and if I were going to do it this way, I would actually command click on this solo button and this solo button to solo save them, then solo here. And then I could go on to EQ them together via this aux and this EQ. Now that's the way I often do it, but there's another cool way to do it that I think a lot of people might not know about. So let's undo this. I'm going to drag this back up, and then I'm going to control command click on those again to bring them back to life. Now something just to throw in a little extra tidbit, you can see these are grayed out and so are these, but then these aren't. Well, follow main pan is activated on the delays but not on the verb sends. So let's click that, bring it up, click FMP, and then do the same thing right here. So now those are grayed out and following the pan of that track. Not the point of the lesson, just a little extra tidbit. So let's right click and delete that aux. Now another way we could do this, kind of achieve a similar, not exactly the same, but very similar thing, would be to make a group out of these. So click on one, shift click to the next, hit Command G, let's call this Taylor 1, 2. And now before you just hit enter, look at your attributes and uncheck follow globals. And now make sure that all your insert controls are linked. This is the gist of this tip right here. You can option click if you want to get that whole column there. I would link the bypass as well, and let's just focus on that. Let's say OK. Now my groups over here are all disabled. I can toggle that. You see how they're grayed out? I can toggle them back on with Shift Command G. So now Taylor 1, 2 is on and active. So still holding Shift Option for apply to selected, let's instantiate an EQ. I'll just use the 7 band since everybody has it. And now if I want to see them both at the same time, I can shift click down to the second one. So now we're seeing both of them. So let's hope this little buggeroo that happens sometimes doesn't bite me. No, it's good. That's the whole point right here, that boom, we can link the behavior of these EQs just via the group. So just the fact that in that group, we linked the insert controls, that means that when this group is on, everything we do to one happens to the other. So this is a really cool way that we could now listen, and let's do it real quick. You might be wondering, like I was, why does that sound so funny? Well, we're only hearing the reverb because the outs of these two tracks are still routed to that aux that I deleted. So let's hold Shift Option, and then let's go click on the out and go to monitor left, right. And now let's try again. So I would do a little bit of a high pass. And then there's a little bit of goo in the low and the low mid that let's iron out. there you go. That's how it works. And just to hammer the point home, we could do this with other plugins too. It doesn't have to be EQs. It can be just about anything. So if I have these 2 tracks selected, hold Shift Option again and grab a compressor, then open up one, shift click on the other one to open it, we should see the same thing. Very, very cool, very simple idea, but one that I didn't realize for many, many years worked that way using Pro Tools. So dig it, try it out. Hope you like it.